it's your favorite line ender's favorite nerd, and today we are looking at the Hasbro Hyper Real Bespin Luke Skywalker. Look, we got a lot to talk about. I say line ender because I have concerns that this may not be where they want it to be, but it's complicated. I'm gonna try my best to explain it, but we're gonna start with accessories. He comes with the display base. It's patterned after the carbon freezing chamber. It's nicely done. It has the metallic fleck plastic, and it has 3 pegs at the bottom and this bit. The 3 pegs can peg into any one of these corresponding holes and then also into the bottom of his foot, and that will keep him stable. And then you can use this piece as a connector point between this and another base so that it eventually forms a semicircle or a full circle or whatever. The Vader one will line up with it. He comes with a slew of hand, 2 sets of different styled relaxed holding hands left and right, also kind of force gesturing hands, 2 different force gesturing hands left and right. One is kind of very indicative of the movie. The other one I'm not really sure if I'm familiar with, kind of a claw hand. We have 2 fist hands left and right, 2 lightsaber hands, holding hands left and right. He's holding, or he has the other one in the opening footage rather, and then 2 trigger finger hands. I'm sorry, 1 trigger finger hand, and then 1 force push hand that you saw in the opening footage. So a ton of hand options, literally. He also comes with the lightsaber and the blade. It's a blue translucent. You know what I want, white rod through the center with the blue translucent around it. And then we have the lightsaber itself, really well sculpted, silver paint, gold, black, really kind of no stone left unturned. Red there, little like that notch there is painted black, and then it has the 2 yellow dots over top. Like they did put everything they had into it, and this will peg in. It's tight, Mac. If you're gonna do stuff like this, it's got to be right. But there it is. He'll hold it just fine in his holding hand, and it can hang from his belt with no problem. He comes with his blaster. It's kind of a black plastic, dry brush silver there, and then the barrel's painted silver with no scorch marks on it, so that's kind of a bummer. And then the handle or grip is painted brown, so decent enough. And he'll hold that just fine. That can fit inside his holster here with no problem, and the strap is on top. It is a peg-in strap. I would prefer magnetized straps. The peg-ins always get kind of all mucked up. He also comes with an alternate face. It's more of a serious face, whereas this one is more of like the confused, befuddled face. Look, we're going to get into this in a minute. They gave you 2 options. There's, I don't know. This one I feel like is most accurate. This one, I mean, I guess it kind of reminds me of some scenes. I'm not sure if this, we probably should have left this one out, honestly. I think it does a disservice to both somehow, because it's just so, look how bizarre and strange that is, dude. It's like he just got he's like the ladies I follow on Instagram, the way he's so oiled up. Look at him. And let's talk about the figure. So kind of proportion wise and everything, it's fine. Look, dude, it's strange. All right, it's weird. I don't know how else to say it. It's weird. It has that like gummy texture of like a sex toy or one of those cheapo things that would have like a wire frame inside of it that you would get like out of a pinball machine or something, or a claw machine. It's just strange, and it worked well enough with the Vader. I'm not sure if it works well enough here. Interesting, but strange. I don't know. Okay. Look at it, man. Okay, so we have the head. It's on a double ball peg from the head into the neck. Check this off. So you can see that there. And then the neck is on a single ball peg as well, so perfectly engineered. Now, the head, it has that digital paint on it, you know, like the real-life paint or whatever, like the mapping paint. And it's done well enough, but it ultimately gives it like this sheen to it, where it, you know, it looks like he just lotioned up or oiled up. You know, all sorts of moisturized. The hair is done nicely. It's a brown with a dry brush and like a really sharp, clearly defined, well-applied dry brush as well. The face sculpt, I think, is close enough. The problem with a lot of these faces is they don't have the digital scans of their faces, obviously, right? So they're never quite as accurate as the kind of current stuff. Okay, so let's move on. Look, the head sculpt with Hamill, you're either going to kind of choose to accept it that it's close enough, or you're going to be constantly disappointed, or you're going to find some medium between the two. I've found some medium between the two. All right, so we have what feels like to me a disc hinge going into a ball peg in the center skeleton here. That'll get you the arm all the way up. and around, and you know, this gummy stuff, dude, it's not gonna work for everything. They just need to accept that like not every shoe fits every foot, and it looks strange here. No real, I guess, let me see. So you have the elbow there, and it is a ratcheted bicep swivel. The elbow, I can't tell if it's a single hinge or a double hinge, but you get the full range. And then you have this ball pegged wrist, so you'll get a little bit in out, a little bit up down, and then the swivel. The suit is sculpted well enough. It's all of that rubbery kind of material, or I don't even know what to call it. You get a good butterfly, you know, and especially if you have him holding something, like he's gonna hold it no problem, and back, so he can jump off like Superman. So it's like it's not terrible in its idea. There's an ab crunch inside of it, plus a double ball peg that you can kind of see that goes from the upper body to the lower body. Using both, I mean, you can get them bent over pretty much the full range, so to speak, and back, side to side, and a swivel. So like it functionally works, you know. Then we have the belt over top. It's a brown belt with a black wash that looks good, and then all of the silver detailings are painted on. Then the silver detailings have a black wash as well, and it looks good. They did a good job. And then it has the strap here, right? Like the thigh strap. And what I like about it is like they even sculpted in some wrinkles in the pants where the thigh strap would be. So like there is care and love put into this. It's just weird, dude. I don't know. We have ball pegs, I think, T-jointed ball pegs for hips. That gets you out to there. You could probably get more without this. Forward, no problem. You got a knee in here for, if you pose it right, you can probably put pressure on it to get the full range. Pants, the pockets are all the stuff, like the wrinkles and stuff are all sculpted into this like silicone or latex or whatever this is. And then you have a swivel here at the boot, which is fine. And you have what I'm guessing is a double ball peg for the ankle. It gets the ankle down to there, up to there, a rocker, you know, everything. Like, it's so strange, man. It's like, it's not inherently bad, and there's some really cool and interesting things that it does, and the engineering works probably flawlessly, but you sacrifice whatever this is for the suit that's just strange. And then also there's some head sculpt kind of issues, which Hamill always has, or Hamill representations of the older stuff usually has. I shouldn't say always, but usually. Yeah. There is like a tone, like a color difference too in the suit. Like it has highlights and shadows and stuff. Like it's not like they just slapped this together. You know, there is thought and care and love put into this. I'm just not sure if they've got it down yet. You know, even down here at the bottom, the same thing with the boots. There's shadows, washes, etc. Like, they care. I'm just not sure if caring is enough quite yet. There he is kind of next to the Vader, and there the bases are kind of plugged in together too, and it works well enough. You know, I think the Vader, what does it with the Vader, what makes it look better is the integration of the a lot more harder plastics and the soft goods along with the kind of rubbery materials. It's the combination of stuff that makes the Vader work a lot better, whereas the Luke is kind of just stuck with that weird stuff all over. The Vader just ends up looking kind of more interesting, believable, and feeling like a better value. Negatives wise, magnetized strap for the gun, that should have been done at this price of a figure, in my opinion. The head sculpt is off. The gloss in that digital paint application comes through stronger and kind of more offensively than it does in the 6-inch figure or the 112 scale. And the suit, man, it's just like, I have mixed feelings about it. It's like, it's rubbery, it's weird, it's strange, but it works. But at the same time, it's like, it doesn't feel like it justifies the cost of the figure somehow. Like if we look at so this is an $80 figure, give or take. Mezco for $100 does cloth goods. And I'm not saying that cloth goods is the right move here, but even if they did this like silicone body, because I don't think, or whatever this is, this rubbery stuff, even if they did it for like a exoskeleton on top of the metal skeleton, and then did some soft goods over top, I think it would end up looking and feeling better, looking and feeling more like it was worth the cost. The problem with this is that it just doesn't, in hand as a consumer, there's nothing inherently about it that feels like it's worth the cost, I think is my biggest issue with it. If it was even like 40, maybe $50, that would be an easier pill to swallow. And this will undoubtedly go on sale at some point for that price. But yeah, that's my biggest issue. It's like there's something about it that makes me want to clown it. That makes me really want to dig in and just make fun of it. Because I think it's kind of easy to. But at the same time, I get what they're doing. I get the angle they're trying. I just don't think they've got it perfected. It is their second figure, so I guess that makes sense. There are plenty of positives though. The deco of it all looks good. The plastics and stuff that are painted, the paint is applied well. The dry brushing is good. The washes are good. The accessories are plentiful and all make sense and look great, with the exception maybe of that alternate head. The engineering of the skeleton is kind of beautifully done. And like you find yourself keep wanting to mess with it because you can pull off just about every pose. Like I said, like there really is real merit here to what they're trying. I think we just have to kind of stick with them for the growing pains. I have a fear that this figure is going to turn a lot of people off to this line. And once that happens, they'll probably pull the plug on it. I wouldn't be surprised if this was the last one, or whichever ones they were planning to announce this year are in fact the last ones. It wouldn't surprise me. I hope that it's not, because I think that they're doing something interesting here. I'm willing to kind of stick around for the ride, but I don't know, man. I don't know. This is not the easiest pill to swallow. I don't know how the people are going to take to it. I don't hate it. I appreciate it for what it is. I think it's a little overpriced in terms of what I'm getting, not necessarily in terms of the profits for what they're making off of it. I'm sure this is an expensive venture, but just as a consumer on the end of getting something, it just feels like, man, I spent how much on this? But I'm down to stick it out. I have faith in them. I'm down to stick it out and see where it ends, but I'm not sure that most people will. I can't recommend this because you're gonna want to laugh it out of the room when you get your hands on it. I do, however, think if you spend enough time with it and appreciating kind of what they're doing here, I think that you will be fulfilled. I feel more fulfilled the more I mess with it, but I can't recommend it because I don't want you to have that initial feeling of getting it out of the box and then think of my voice recommending it and then come from my head. I can't have that. But I am coming to terms with it. Anyway, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Until next time, take care.